What's going on, unfazed crew? I hope you guys are doing well. So we promised you a table read, and this is one I'm particularly excited about. So Emmett, kick us off.
We're at the table and we're about to read.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of people have heard, especially if you're a Seinfeld fan, of that episode that never made it to air about a gun. And I know Elaine, I know the basic premise that Elaine wants to get a gun to protect herself, and then that's it. I know that's the premise, and then I think it was George, probably Jason Alexander.
I don't know. I actually don't know the plot, so no spoilers.
Well, I think Jason Alexander was the one who was like, "I don't want to do this. It's too touchy."
Oh,
but
gotcha.
we'll see. So it says, this is an Entertainment Weekly bit about the episode. Seinfeld certainly had its provocative moments. It's hard to imagine there was any subject too controversial for the hit comedy. But one topic did manage to cross the line: guns. The cast and crew refused to shoot what would have been the show's 9th episode that early on. Wow, the bet.
Wow.
The second season episode, written by Borat director Larry Charles. Wow.
I didn't know he did that. Larry Charles was involved with a bunch of episodes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Followed the friends making a bet whether or not Julia Louis-Dreyfus's Elaine Bennis would purchase a gun for protection. The narrative was inspired by a firearm purchase made by Seinfeld writer Elaine Pope.
Oh, love the Pope. Yeah.
Love Elaine.
Sounds simple enough in theory, but in the script, Elaine joked about shooting herself in the head and referred to the Kennedy, imitating the assassination of the president. The joke went too far for the cast and director Tom Sharones, who said guns aren't very funny. In the Screen Crush article, Charles and Sharon debated whether the episode would have worked later in the series when the show was well established and could more easily approach difficult subjects. Charles thinks so, Sharones doesn't.
Also scrapped with the episode's subplot. Kramer claims he slept with a flight attendant on a plane back from Puerto Rico. Sounds very Kramer.
Yeah.
Jerry believes him, George does not. A second bet was made over who was right. Oh, but it's not all that. That's not all that was lost. The episode also revealed Kramer's first name to be
Go ahead.
Conrad.
Go ahead.
Viewers wouldn't find out his given name until the 6th season, and by then it would have changed to Cosmo. Conrad Kramer.
Conrad Kramer.
Wow.
Ironically, Louis-Dreyfus Vice President Selena Meyer attended a gun show on Veep this season, back when this article was made, but it broached the controversial subject in a much different way.
I don't care about Veep.
Don't care about Veep. Never watched it. Is it good? Let me know.
This is interesting. So I'm going to be Jerry and Elaine. And you're going to be...
I'll be George and Kramer. And then any side characters, Newman pops in or anything like that, we'll just alternate on them. When we did, it's kind of interesting, when we did American Spunk, that was the first table read we did, the script that Emmett and I wrote. If you're not familiar with it, go check it out. It's a pretty sweet script that we did together. That was easy because we had 2 main characters, so I don't think we did a lot of time saying the character's name. So I think in this one, if it makes sense, obviously we'll be saying the characters' names before.
We'll do their voices too.
We'll do their voices, yeah. You'll be able to follow along. You're a savvy crowd. So.
Seinfeld, The Gun, written by Larry Charles. Wow.
First draft, September 28th, 1990. All rights reserved. Castle Rock Entertainment. No portion of the script may be performed or reproduced by any means. Forget about that.
Seinfeld, The Gun, Act 1, Scene A. Up on coffee shop. Jerry, George, and Elaine. They eat their food. Jerry and Elaine seem quite pleased with their choices. Sorry, it's funny. It is funny. The name is supposed to be. George, however, is surprised, unhappy. He stares longingly at Jerry's plate. I'm Jerry. I'm talking about lesbians. Keep your voice down. Why? I'm not saying anything negative about lesbians. I'm pro-lesbian. I love lesbians. Ask anybody. I'm Mr. Lesbian.
George. He is.
Men are turned on by lesbians. And yet, lesbians are turned off by men. Isn't that ironic?
Elaine.
Ironic or moronic?
George. He's been listening to Lenny Bruce again. Let me give you some career advice. Stick to the supermarket and laundromat stuff. Socks, frozen food, that's your bread and butter. You ain't no social critic. Pause. This is that era, I think, before George fully found his voice and Jason Alexander realized that he was doing a version of Larry David.
Right.
And this is when he was a little more Woody Allen.
Yeah.
In those first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to it.
You don't think I could do more hard-edged political material? Make some kind of political statement?
Why don't you just set fire to yourself on stage? That's a statement. Go down into the audience and start smacking people, knock their drinks over. That's a statement. Here, you want a good joke for your act? I heard this one at the office. Why did the Siamese twins go to England?
Why? Asks Elaine.
Pause, as George has obviously forgotten the punchline. Punch to the table. Why?
Don't look at me.
You see, you made me forget.
I did?
Yeah, with your biting social commentary. George ponders. Elaine.
Elaine says, so did I tell you I'm thinking about buying a gun? Is this a joke too? No, I'm serious.
Don't you hate that when you forget a punchline?
I hate it when you do it.
It's funny.
A lady in my building was mugged last night. I know 6 people who were mugged this year. Yeah, but having a gun wouldn't help. If they had a gun, they probably would have been killed.
To get to the other side?
Is that it? Not even close. What happened? Did Molly die by a gun?
Elaine.
You just don't understand what it's like being a single woman in this city.
I do. I'm not that masculine. It's not a big leap for me.
What do you know about guns? Are you prepared to use it? Are you prepared to kill someone? I'm prepared to kill you, says Elaine.
Don't kill him. Just make him dance. It's a weird line.
That's a weird line. That's a weird line for George.
Jerry.
You know you're not helping at all. She wants to buy a gun.
I don't blame her. You need some protection in the city. You need some security. After my apartment was broken into a couple of times, I started keeping a sword under my bed.
A sword?
That sounds like a Kramer line.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, that was George.
Who do you think is going to break into your house? The Knights of the Round Table?
Maybe. I got what they want.
You know, you're both crazy. I can't even talk to you.
So don't. Go put on tights and puffy sleeves and floppy velvet hat and scroll and spread your message of peace and love. When they find you face down in a pool of blood in some alley, then you'll be happy.
Yeah, I'll be thrilled. You see, you've given up. Life means nothing to you. Instead of finding solutions, you've given up.
Elaine.
Why don't you go get a basket of posies?
This is a weird one.
It's a weird one.
Yeah.
Sow the seed of love in Central Park about 1 a.m. and see what kind of solutions you get.
You can definitely tell this was an early episode.
Yeah.
Because, like, I feel like if you read the later stuff, like, they hadn't quite found their voice, you know? All right, here they hadn't quite found their voice.
Jerry rises. Elaine, if you buy a gun, you're just perpetuating violence. You're as bad as a criminal. I'd rather be a criminal than a victim.
Me too.
Jerry returns. Jerry rises, Jerry returns. I don't understand.
Maybe he went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heatedly to George. By the way, it's so the other one could drive.
What?
So the other one could drive. Why did the Siamese twins go to England? So the other one could drive. He walks out.
Yeah, that's it. Isn't that funny? See, that's the kind of stuff you should be doing.
Interesting. Wow.
Okay.
Act 1, Scene B, Jerry's apartment. We're in Jerry's apartment. It's Jerry and George.
George. I got a piece of food caught way up in my gum, beyond the reach of my tongue.
What kind of a mutant are you? You mean God short-tongued you?
What are you, the viper? I don't see you catching flies with your tongue. What do you, keep it rolled up in your mouth like a belt?
I can reach any area of my mouth at any time with my tongue. That's the kind of function a normal tongue should be able to perform. I've got a normal tongue, not a stub tongue like you. You've got a stub tongue, my friend. A stubby-tongued friend. You need some kind of a tongue extender.
I have one. It's called a finger. George sticks his finger up inside his
This
mouth.
is a weird line. You are fired. You are fired as my friend.
That was good. Kramer enters. Hey!
Hey!
He's badly sunburnt, peeling like a sharpened pencil. I'm back.
Hey, how was Puerto Rico?
It rained the whole time.
Pause. Jerry and George exchange a glance.
Oh, this. They had a defective tanning machine in the hotel. I'm suing.
This is very Kramer.
I'm suing.
This is great.
I bet that woman loved that. That I just got back from the nuclear explosion look.
You look like Swamp Thing goes on vacation.
Kramer. I did all right. The women like it when you're peeling.
You're not peeling, you're shedding.
George. Yeah, I bet they were grabbing strips of your skin and dancing around you like a maypole.
It's gross.
Kramer, go ahead, make your jokes. The stewardess on the plane ride home didn't seem to mind.
Maybe we should not do a celebrity. Dark man.
George with incredulity and sarcasm. So you picked up a stewardess, huh, Kramer? A little stew action? Kramer, I didn't pick her up. He slowly thrusts his fist forward. What, punched her?
No.
Suddenly it dawns on George. Oh, get out of here, this. He makes fist thrusts. This, George. On a plane? He makes fist thrusts. Giddy up.
I think it says we were flying.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it was just
We were
riff.
flying.
Yeah. We were flying. Yeah.
And then it says with the stewardess.
With the stewardess? Julie.
Red hairs. I can't read that.
Red hair, heavenly something.
Yeah.
Heavenly decorations? Heavenly... oh, heavily decorated.
Heavily decorated, okay.
Heavily decorated. And then what did George say? They crossed it out? On the plane? Yes. And then George, get out of here. No way. Did you go nonstop? I've heard of bonus mileage. I've heard of the flying friendly skies. What was the movie? Deep Throat? Did they have a sign flashing, please fasten your condoms? I bet she returned your tray to the upright position. I bet these are like a bunch of ones they were trying out.
Yeah.
Seeing which one would work.
Like some of them crossed
some of them were crossed out. I guess you violated her airspace, huh? Come on, I can't get laid on land. This guy's making it on jumbo jets. To Jerry, catching his breath. I was on quite a roll there.
Well, like a stale piece of bread.
It's true, George. And then I can't read it. It's like chicken scratch. And then George says, you had sex with a stewardess during a flight. Sally ride on the Sally ride on the space shuttle. Come on, let's get out and rent the polygraph machine right now.
Then Kramer says, you don't believe me? I think it says K, you don't believe me?
Got it. Kramer says, oh yeah, worked like a charm. What charm? Oh wait, what's going on here? Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So it looks like they put a bunch of
They
notes.
rewrote some of the dialogue.
They rewrote some stuff, and I can't read it. It's like literally like half of it's gone, like a photocopy, and then I can't. Can you read it?
I can't really. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll read what it says, but it might not make sense because it looks like they added something. So Kramer says, oh yeah, worked like a charm. George says, what a scheme. Kramer says, my ex-brother-in-law, Dave Zweig, is an airline mechanic in Miami. Use his name and I get a professional discount. Fly for half fare. George says, oh great. Not only is he having sex with the stewardess, but he's flying half fare. What were the other passengers saying?
Don't buy the
Earphones?
earphones.
I don't know.
I guess that's my line.
It's and like on our side, it's really blurry. Kramer says, it was late. The plane was empty. We lifted up the armrest. We had the whole aisle to ourselves. Hey, if you don't believe me, ask her. Her name's Connie. She's got red hair. Oh, I intend to. Kramer again. I've had sex on public transportation before, George. Once I had sex in the toilet of a Greyhound bus going cross-country with some fat pimp.
Hey, I believe you. I must I be subject to this sordid tale?
I still have her number, George. Somehow you have some pig in a bus I can buy, but this... Elaine enters.
Oh, look who's here. The future Miss Bernie Goats. Ask Elaine if she thinks it's true.
Elaine, Kramer says he had sex with a stewardess on the flight back from Puerto Rico.
You know, I think the women's movement has missed the boat all these years. The issue shouldn't be legalized abortion, it's castration. Legalized castration.
Elaine!
I'm sorry, I was out gun shopping. She leans like insane in this one. It puts you in an aggressive mood. I have so much more energy when I'm hostile. Oh, great. Did Bloomies have a sale? I was just looking.
Kramer, so you're looking for a gun?
I just started.
I got a stun gun you can have. Hardly ever been used. Just needs batteries.
I think I want something with bullets.
Hey, Jerry, you should take her to see Mo.
Mo Corn?
Yeah.
No Mo. No way.
Elaine?
Who's Mo Corn? Nobody. Who's Mo, Jerry? This guy lives in my old building. Shares an apartment with his mother. And he sells guns? I'm not sure what he does. He's a weird guy. I'm not going to call him. There's no reason for you to purposely meet Mo Corn.
If you want, Elaine, I'll call him. I see him more than you anyway.
Would you?
Sure.
Where do you see Mo Corn?
At the chess club, Jerry. I see him all the time.
Well, you two can buy illegal firearms from Mo Corn and his mother. Count me out.
Elaine, you want to see the stun gun?
I don't know.
Don't worry. George, stewardess. You know what kind of trouble she'd get into? Do you think she'd risk her entire career to have sex with Kramer? There are federal regulations. Tom Cruise, maybe. But Kramer? At least Tom Cruise was in Top Gun. He might have a note from a general.
Well, nothing against Tom Cruise. He's a fine young talent. But I must warn you, our man Kramer is capable of amazing, unheard of, unworldly feats of sexual prowess. It's some kind of a deal he made with Satan. The man is a hound from hell.
George, look, maybe they kissed. Maybe they even made out. But I'm sorry, I do not subscribe to the Big Bang Theory.
You want to bet?
Yeah, I'd bet on this.
How much? $10?
$10? It's not worth betting. Who cares? Who wins for $10?
Well, how much? 50, 100?
I'd bet 1,000. That's how sure I am.
All right, $1,000.
You'd bet $1,000?
If I knew I was going to win.
How do you know you're going to win?
Why would I bet if I didn't think I'd win?
Do you know something I don't know?
I know he's telling the truth. You don't seem to know that.
How do you know?
I think.
You think.
I think therefore I know.
So you think he's telling the truth.
And you think he's not.
I know he's not.
How do you know?
I think.
Well, do we have a bet?
You bet. $10.
They shake, we hear an electric surge and a Kramer scream. Jerry!
Dissolve.
No! I don't even know how to do a Kramer scream.
Wow. Dissolve 2, and then there's a whole bunch of notes. Can't read them.
Moe's apartment door. Wow, this is weird. This whole character, Moe.
Yeah, Mo.
Jerry, who should be Moe?
Is it just Jerry and Kramer and Mo?
Well, it looks like Moe's in the scene. Yeah.
Okay.
Jerry, Kramer, and Elaine, and Moe.
Looks like he's talking to Jerry a lot, so I'll be Mo.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Jerry, Kramer, and Elaine wait. We hear the sound of numerous locks and latches being unlocked and unlatched. It wasn't nice. I promised to visit them 1,000,000 times. You caught me in a weak moment. I was guilt-ridden. Guilt is like kryptonite to a Jew.
Mo opens the door. Jerry and Elaine enter. Mo is overweight, greasy, slow, and low-key. Pez, a man of few friends. Jerry, what a surprise.
Mo.
Ma, look who's here. It's Jerry.
Mrs. Corn. All right, I'll be Mrs. Corn.
Jerry's here. Jerry Seinfeld. Boris, why didn't you tell me Jerry was coming? I would have served something.
Oh, Mrs. Corn.
Hi, Muriel. Kramer.
Wait, I'm not dressed.
Jerry makes a face at the mental image of Mrs. Corn naked.
Look at this. The gang's all here. Jerry, Kramer, and you must be Laney.
Elaine.
Elaine. Oh, I thought it was Lane.
Mom enters in schmata. She plops on a chair.
Oi, my name is Corn, and I've got corns. Actually, that's my married name. My name is Diamond, but I don't have any diamonds.
How are you, Mrs. Corn?
How am I? I smoke too much. I don't have a boyfriend. Right, Kramer?
Ma.
Kramer is chagrined.
He's embarrassed by everything I say.
Mo pulls out a large suitcase and opens it. Inside are a variety of handguns.
Jesus.
I don't even like to look.
So, go inside, Ma.
Wow, Elaine says. Elaine and Kramer immediately handle weapons. Jerry is impatient. So, Mo, we'll just start selling guns.
I don't sell guns.
God forbid.
I only do this for friends. Kramer to Jerry. I told you. Jerry thinks you're some kind of big arms dealer.
Ooh, Mo?
I wish. I get my own place. I'd live in a penthouse.
And what'd you do if there's a fire in the penthouse?
I never said that.
So, Jerry, you still play softball?
Once in a while.
To Elaine, weapon she holds. That's a Glock 17 9mm. It's got double action and a frame-mounted safety so you can carry it cocked or locked. Kramer, that's a good feature.
How much?
If you like it, don't worry about the price.
Mo is very fair.
Jerry, you lose weight?
Maybe a little.
To Elaine, that's a heckler and a koch. They make a nice gun.
So, Jerry, how's your mother?
She's fine.
Oh, thank God. Tell her Muriel from the old building says hello.
I will.
Elaine!
Look
Elaine-
at this, Jerry.
Elaine holding the gun around.
It comes in purple or jade. Jade would go great with my purse. Great.
Kramer holding a weapon. You could do some serious damage with this baby.
How about that damage you do with a rocket stick? You break a window, you knock out a streetlight. Ripping a massive hole through someone's anatomy is not damage. Elaine turns and points gun at Jerry. Jesus. Shut up, wimp, or I'll blow your brains out. Oh my God.
This is a weird one. Elaine, Kramer, Mo, and they scratched out Kramer. Mo and Mrs. Corn crack up with laughter. Jerry is not amused.
Yeah. Haha.
Suddenly there's a pounding on the door. Everyone freezes. Kramer and Mo hold firearms. Jerry's eyes bulge in horror. Who's there? Police, open up! On this frozen tableau of fear, we fade out. End of Act 1.
Okay, well, what do you think so far?
I see why it was cut.
Yeah, I think it's more than just the fact that it was about a gun. It's just not very good.
It's not a very good episode. Yeah.
Okay, in Act 2, scene
It doesn't feel anything like Seinfeld. It feels more like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, Jerry feels like Jerry, Kramer feels like Kramer, but George was very off, and Elaine's just kind of out of her gourd in this one.
Doesn't make any sense, yeah. This one, I see why it was lost.
Yeah.
But I'm glad there's evidence of it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We get to bring it to you in some form.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Interior, Moe's apartment, seconds later. Moe. Hold it! He moves to the door with the gun. Jerry.
What are you doing? Are you crazy? You're getting so killed.
Don't worry, nobody's gonna get hurt. He swings open the door, gun cocked like a Dirty Harry movie. Two sleazeballs stand in the doorway, snickering. They are Moe's pals, Chicky and Mince. I knew it was you.
Mo, what's happening? Sup, Mo?
There you go. There you go. Jerry and Elaine slump in the bed. Weird. Kramer laughs. That was a good one. These are my friends, Chicky and Mince. This is Elaine, Jerry, and Kramer.
They exchange ad-lib greetings, Jerry and Elaine. Chicky, Mint.
Hope it didn't scare nobody. I recognize your voice right away. We're going down to 42nd Street. Why don't you boys get some real girlfriends?
Look at us.
Anyway, 42nd Street is cheaper. You know what I'm saying. A couple of real schnorrers.
Mint. Okay, sorry. You guys want to go to 42nd Street or you don't do that?
It's my favorite part, just watching Emmett talk to himself.
We're just leaving. There you go, Kramer.
Come on, Jerry. It'll be fun. To the others. He used to go all the time until he became a big shot.
I did not. I'm not a big shot. You ready, Elaine? No, I haven't decided yet. Well, these guys want to get going.
Don't worry. Times Square's open 24 hours. There's no rush.
Jerry rolls his eyes.
Why don't you come down to 42nd Street with us?
They got things for chicks. No thanks. Elaine? This guy told me. If you can't wait, then go without me, Jerry. I thought you were afraid.
We'll protect her, Jerry.
And besides, when I leave, I'll have a gun. Great, fine, do what you want. I'm going. Mo, Chick, Mince, Mrs. Corn, it's been a pleasure.
You've got a hair.
Jerry removes a hair from his shirt. Sniffles and begins to exit.
I think smiles.
Oh, smiles.
Chicky and Mince say, goodbye, Jerry.
Dissolve, too.
Act 2, Scene E, interior George's car. Elaine sits alone in the back seat. Suddenly, George gets in.
George. He'll be right down. The flight from Puerto Rico arrives at 12:30. We're just gonna make it. Should I take the bridge or the tunnel? So anyway, you were saying you went to mow corns, but...
Yeah, Jerry left, but I didn't buy anything. I was this close, but I chickened out. It was just too weird. I guess I'm not ready to carry a gun. I don't know how murderers do it.
Well, Jerry will be happy.
Yeah, that's the only downside. Jerry's happiness. Jerry's glee. There's nothing more insufferable than Jerry Seinfeld when he's right.
He thinks you bought the gun?
I think it's... you're telling me.
Oh.
He thinks you bought the gun.
Oh, I got it.
I think.
He thinks you bought the gun.
Good. That's what I wanted to think. So don't say anything. But here's what we're going to do. At some point tonight, when he's giving me a hard time and he thinks his logic is unassailable and his argument is so persuasive, how could anybody disagree with him? I'm going to whip this out and shove it in his mouth. Jesus! She pulls a gun out of her purse.
Wow! That looks real. It's got weight.
I bought it at a toy store around the corner from me. But don't say anything. I just want to see the look on his face. I want to see him befoul his crisp stonewashed blue jeans. I want him to gulp down one hard saliva lump of death before I tell him the truth, okay?
Okay. Shh. Here he comes.
Jerry enters the car. George and Elaine assume casual stance. George? Danny Oakley? Is it warm in here or are you just packing heat? One bullet in the brain pan ought to drop your body temperature considerably. Elaine's insane.
Elaine is unhinged.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Guess that'll provide some cross ventilation. Can you give me the Kennedy? In here, motioning to the back of the head. And out here, motioning to his Adam's apple. Jesus.
It's a dark one.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just take a little off the top. Ah, the Lincoln.
George, did you bring the picture of Kramer?
Yeah. Oh, Elaine, could you put this in your bag? Get their zoom with your arsenal. You're already getting that steely glint in your eyes, like Charles Bronson. That steady stream of spatter is going to be replaced by a steady stream of blood.
Should I take the bridge or the tunnel?
Bridge. Tunnel.
I'll take the bridge. No, the tunnel. No, the bridge. No, the tunnel. I'll take the bridge.
He turns the steering wheel.
I should have taken the tunnel.
Jerry shakes his head in disbelief.
Act 2. Exterior, traffic, airport, stock shot. Jerry, voiceover.
Jerry, voiceover, okay. You know you do that every time. You can't decide whether to take the bridge or the tunnel. So you decide to take the bridge and then you take the wrong bridge.
George, voiceover. Look, the bridge tunnel thingy's been a source of... Or thingas.
I think it's supposed to be thingy. Yeah.
Oh, the bridge tunnel
Thing
thing...
has.
Oh, the bridge tunnel thing has been a source of anxiety for me since I first got my license. I've sat up at night trying to decide whether to take the bridge or the tunnel. Don't make it worse than it already is.
All right.
Interior airport. Jerry, George, and Elaine enter. Jerry and George glancing about. They are rushed and nervous.
You ask her.
George, no, you ask her.
You ask her.
No, you ask her.
I'm not asking her.
If you don't ask her, it's a forfeit.
What about you?
Why should I if you don't?
All right, we'll both ask her.
Oh, no. That never works. What are we going to do? Alternate words? Elaine, you have to ask.
Me?
George pointing to an anonymous woman. No, her. Yeah, you. Come on. You're a woman. She'll relate to you.
What if she lies?
If she lies?
We'll see in her eyes. The eyes never lie.
To Elaine. You decide. To Jerry. Okay?
Okay, here she comes. She's pretty.
George. Too pretty. This woman would never have sex with Kramer. Unless she has a fetish for human oddities, in which case I might have a shot.
They were drinking. It was dark.
I don't care if they fell into a vat of whiskey during a total eclipse.
Elaine.
Connie, an attractive red-haired stewardess, wheeling a little cart with a single bag, crosses. Elaine is pushed out in front. Reluctantly, just as Julie, they can't decide if her name is Connie or Julie, just as Connie is passing, blocking her.
Hi, Connie.
Hi.
I'm Elaine. This is Jerry and George.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, how are you?
Hello. Can I help y'all with anything? George under his breath. Y'all.
Well, we sure hope so. How do I put this? It's a bit awkward.
Yes?
Well, we're friends of Kramer. Dave, what the fuck? So it's obviously supposed to be talking about Kramer, but it says Dave in the original thing.
Okay. So she says...
We're friends of Kramer.
Kramer?
Kramer.
This is weird. It says Dave Zweig, which was a friend that Kramer had mentioned earlier. But we'll say, Conrad Kramer. Is what it says.
Okay.
So this is early on, but we would say Cosmo Kramer.
He says he's a very good friend of yours.
He does.
A very good friend. Yes, he says you became very friendly on the trip back to Puerto Rico last week. Jerry with a sly smile. Very friendly.
Connie, her tone is flat, unfriendly. Really?
Does any of this ring a bell? Jerry to George. More like an alarm.
I'm sorry, I don't recall any Cosmo Kramer. Perhaps you have me mistaken for someone else. If you'll excuse me. George. Sure. Go right ahead. Thanks for your help, Connie. He winks at her. So long. Keep 'em flying.
Now wait a minute. Hang on 1 second. Are you in a rush? Can we buy you a drink? If we could just explain.
I don't drink while I'm on duty.
Oh, really?
George. Jerry, the woman's in a rush. These airline people have tight schedules. Am I right, Connie? You'd better hurry. What is this all about? Who are you?
Jerry to Elaine. Show her the thing. Elaine opens her pocketbook. Let me show you something. Maybe this will help. She searches for the photo. As she does, she pulls out in quick succession a hairbrush, a mirror, and the toy gun. Connie screams.
Ah! George, what?
Suddenly, George, Jerry, and Elaine are swarmed upon by security.
Freeze!
They are surrounded, guns ominously directed at them. They raise their hands. Elaine still clutching her hairbrush, mirror, and toy gun.
George, it's a toy! It's a toy!
You're a toy, pal!
George, I'm a toy?
This is so weird.
This is a weird one. On their shocked expressions, we dissolve to
Act 2, Scene J.
Interior, Jerry's apartment. Back home. Jerry, George, Elaine sit on couch, unhappy, arms crossed. They are waiting.
This is the last time I ordered food to be delivered. This place is a block away. It's been 40 minutes. We could have picked it up, eaten it, and been sick already. Call them again. What good is it going to do? They're going to say, it's on its way. Then I'll say, I'm going to be on the way. You're only 1 block from my house. It's a lot of Jerry here, right?
A lot of Jerry, good.
If the delivery guy slithered on his stomach like a snake, he'd be here already. And they'll say, maybe you got lost. And I'll say, maybe. How about definitely? And they'll say, well, what do you want us to do? That's the only relevant question. Because they don't care. They don't need my business. If I'm angry or unhappy or dissatisfied, it's my tough luck. It's the new service motto, sweeping the nation. The customer's always wrong.
George, I've always said they should require these delivery guys to wear monitoring devices on their ankles.
And how long do you wait to cancel the order? Do you refuse pay? Do you tip?
Definitely not.
What if it's not his fault? What if it's the kitchen's fault? Or the person who took the call wrote down the wrong address? Should the delivery guy suffer because there was a breakdown in dispatching? I just wanted something to eat. Instead I'm going to have an aneurysm and I'll wind up being fed through a tube the rest of my life.
Doorbell. Ding, ding.
Finally.
He swings open the door. Kramer enters. Hey! He's carrying an envelope. He marches over to George. Here it is, Georgie. I told you. Read it and weep.
Is there food in that envelope?
You want me to cook some spaghetti?
No, we ordered a whole dinner. We've been waiting an hour.
Kramer. I just saw a delivery guy drop a big bag of food between two parked cars.
Was it Italian or Chinese?
Red.
Red marinara. That's it. That's my rigatoni. That's my rigatoni.
Wait, Jerry. Listen to this. George takes the letter out of the envelope and begins to read. George. Dear Connie. Connie? Just a quick note to catch you up on the recent dramatic changes in my life. First off, I am officially an ex-stewardess since my near brush with death the night I was I was accosted by those three crazies a couple of months back.
Elaine gasps. That's us.
George, I've reassessed my goals.
We drove her out of the business.
I've decided to return to my first love, sales. Life is too short and precious to not follow your dreams.
Sales?
George, secondly, Connie darling, if my experience at the airport that night has taught me anything, it's taught me this. A girl can't be too careful these days, so I have purchased a gun.
Elaine hits Jerry. You see? Me, it's your fault.
George continues, if you ever find yourself in Flagstaff, and you want to buy something, please look me up. And finally, my love, since our rendezvous in the sky, I'm still in the clouds. George looks at the others crestfallen. If you file a claim, the airline might reimburse you for your sock. Love, Connie.
George places the letter down.
Think you owe me some money, Jerry.
I think it was Jerry.
Oh, my bad. I think you owe Jerry some money. You fooled me, Jerry. I'm getting dyslexic here. George, why? This doesn't prove anything. It's not notarized or anything. It's hardly a legal document. Up in the clouds. That could be a drug reference.
Come on, pay up.
This letter wouldn't hold up in a court. George is getting upset. Kramer, you know, this is nothing. I once had sex with a girl on the F train during rush hour, and I still see that girl. George, get out of here. Kramer, you want to bet? I'll call her right now. As they argue, we fade out.
Do you know, I noticed that there's no bits, so I wonder if Jerry really did write all those bits himself.
Probably.
There's
Yeah,
no
probably.
bookend bits. That was pretty bad.
That was a bad episode.
Yeah.
If that's, even with the talent of the whole cast,
Yeah.
that was greatly lacking.
Yeah.
I could have seen that being a season 1 episode because season 1
Yeah.
was weird. See,
Yeah, there's nothing clever about it.
Which most shows are because they haven't quite found their footing, you know?
Yeah.
That feels like it could have been like a pilot or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was, based on the script, that was like a 2 out of 5.
Wow. Yeah.
That was bad. One thing that was missing too is there was no girlfriends for George or Jerry, which is very strange.
Yes, that's true.
There was no boyfriend for Elaine. Usually there's some kind of dating or putty or something, you know?
Mm.
Putty didn't come around until like season 4, I don't think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see why that was a lost episode. I see why it made it to the cutting room floor and didn't get produced. And you know, sometimes the producers and the cast and the creative guys are totally right.
Yeah. Jesus, Elaine was just, I can't wait to kill Jerry.
She was a psycho, yeah. And what was weird about that is she didn't even like pull it out as a joke on him at any point. It was just seen. It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
It was a weird episode.
Very weird. Elaine buys a toy gun.
Yeah, that was
Jesus.
stupid. That was stupid. All right, so while we're continuing this, what do you guys think of that? You know, was it a piece of crap? I think it was a bad one, definitely. But let's do a little creative exercise here. What would you do to fix that? Let's say we're kind of like, you know, working as producers on the show. What would you recommend as like ways you could fix this episode? Like, let's say it's like, oh, we have to shoot this today. Like, what do we add to make this like a passable episode? But you got to keep like the gist of it. You got to keep like 75% of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they should have gone down the route of like the street thugs more. We had like Chick and Monet, whatever the hell their names were.
Yeah.
We should have. There should have seen. In my mind, I can see some scene where it was like Jerry and Elaine in some obviously fake like alleyway with steam, and there's like the thug in a leather jacket that comes up to them
For sure.
and there's something with the gun that happens there. You know, like there has to be some kind of
Yeah.
the whole airport thing was just
Airport made no sense.
it didn't fit together. Yeah,
No.
it felt like two separate episodes almost.
Yeah. I would have had it where there's something that sounds like, remember that episode where Kramer's scared to sleep at night and like the Mandelbaum's working out?
Yeah.
But it should be something like that where Elaine thinks someone's trying to break into her house, so she gets a gun for protection. And it turns out to just be like some neighbor or something doing something stupid. And then there should be a scene maybe like where they're going to the movies or something, and some tough guys come to like rob George, and Elaine pulls the gun.
That's what I was
on them.
thinking. Yeah.
And then they like freak out and they're like, Elaine, that was incredible.
Yeah.
And then it's
I
like
was
she's
thinking
like,
there would have to be one like applaud scene.
yeah, and then they're like, whoa, and she's like, where did you get that? Put that thing away. And then she shoots it. It's like a squirt gun.
Yeah.
And
That
you're
would
like,
be great.
You could have been killed. And then she's like, eh.
Yeah, that's really good. That's way better. Yeah.
That could have been good.
There you
It
go.
could have been good. And then Kramer, I'm okay with the Puerto Rican stewardess thing, but it would almost be funnier, I think, if there were like cutaways to where like Kramer in the very beginning of the episode, like the first like 3 minutes is like, see you guys later, I'm heading to Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
and then he
yeah.
goes, and then just once in a while we see him and it's all just like him in the air.
Yeah.
And then at the end it's like him on the beach, like with the chick.
Absolutely.
And it's just like, we just see Kramer maybe like 3-4 minutes out of the episode.
It's a lot better.
And it's all just like, not flashback stuff, but like cutaway shots.
Yeah.
And it'd be funny if Newman came with him.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if Newman and Jerry were going to Puerto Rico.
That would be great.
Yep, and that would be great.
That would be great. That's really, that's a lot better.
You know what would actually be better than Kramer hooking up with the stewardess? It would be cool if Newman got lucky. And then when they come back at the end, it's just a little thing, like a little joke.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, Newman got lucky with the stewardess, and they're like, get out of here.
Yeah.
And then Newman's like, I have nothing to prove to you.
Yeah. And it's just weird that like George doesn't. They never don't believe Kramer. They always believe him. I know this is early on, but it just seems odd.
It seems more like they wouldn't believe George.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I see why they scrapped that one, but definitely room for improvement. But it was, if this one had to be lost, I'm glad it was
No great
this.
loss, yeah.
And it was not, a more substantial episode or a famous episode.
This and the dog. I don't mind him.
The dog, the dog. The dog was that season 1?
Yeah.
That was season 1, yeah. That was a weird one. You don't actually ever see the dog, do you?
No.
Weird.
No.
Weird. Yeah, I'm okay with losing that one too. Yeah. It wasn't the worst. But I mean, they had to find their footing, right?
They did, yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we still love Seinfeld, but let me know if you guys like this. Like, what other shows would you like to see us do? I was thinking like X-Files, Twilight Zone, maybe King of Queens. I don't know.
Do you want me to keep doing the Jerry voice for all my characters?
That would be fun. That would be fun. I got to apologize. That was not the best George impression.
It's
I'm
hard
sorry.
to do impressions for those guys.
Yeah, I
Even
mean,
though we've heard him our whole lives.
Jason Alexander is just such a great actor, and the George voice. It's hard to get. Kramer's a little easier, but my apologies.
Hey buddy.
Not the best.
We were good at the inflections.
Yeah.
The voices themselves are hard.
Yeah,
Obviously Elaine's just a woman.
Not my best performance, but it was fun. It was fun.
It's fine. It was a lot to work with. It was not a very good episode, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it had less to do with the gun, honestly, and more that it was just not a very good episode.
I agree.
That's
and maybe that was their way of kind of letting Larry Charles or whoever wrote it, like, let him down easy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we just don't want to do the gun. We're going to go with something else.
Right.
But really, it was just kind of a shit episode. So.
Weird.
Anyway, weird stuff.
Interesting one.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, let us know what you want to see next. Love you all.
Remain unfazed and appreciate your good Seinfeld episodes.
Yes.
Because most of them, I would say 99% are great. And this one was not. So, anyway.
99% are undateable.
Undateable. George is getting upset. All right, bye guys.